Look, a considerable development here in Australia as well. Joe Biden, Scott Morrison, the Japanese Prime Minister, as well as India's Prime Minister, will be meeting virtually, of course, in just a couple of days' time. Now, on the agenda officially is security in the Indo-Pacific. China will surely see that as a slight or that it is being targeted. How is it likely to respond to this?
Well, China is very worried about the growing strength of the Quad. And in fact, just a few months ago, there were editorials in state-controlled media warning India not to participate in the Quad. They want India to withdraw because, of course, India and China have had border spats over the past year or so in which a number of soldiers on both sides have died. The Quad was set up, Laura, back in 2007, essentially as a bulwark against China. And it's there primarily to try to contain what they see as China's aggressive postures, particularly in the South China Sea. And, you know, on Tuesday, we heard from the most powerful US commander in the region warning that the balance of military power in that area is now tilted very much in China's favor, warning that by 2025, China will have 3 aircraft carriers and that its nuclear capability has doubled in the past 20 years. And at the National People's Congress that I mentioned a short time ago, China has announced it's going to be increasing its military spending by almost 7%. So that's an awful lot for the Quad to be discussing. But against that backdrop, Laura, it's also being reported here in Hong Kong today that the foreign ministers of China and foreign representatives from the United States are going to have a meeting in Anchorage in Alaska to possibly pave the way for a summit between President Xi Jinping and Joe Biden to see if there's any way they can get a reset in relations.
Yes, it's really hard to see, and this is usually an event, I mean, a lesser meeting than the Quad meeting would provoke China, and we'd see those editorials through the state-run media, so we will stand by to see the reaction once again. But Adrian Brown, I ask you this often, but are you finding it more and more difficult to do your job in Hong Kong? What are you noticing?
Well, you know, there's been no attempt to stop me reporting. There's been no early morning knock on the door. You have to be careful. You have to be mindful of these sort of red lines and how to navigate those red lines. But so far, there's been no, you know, warning from me to stop doing my job, and I'll continue doing it until I get a tap on the shoulder and get told to do otherwise. You know, Hong Kong is a difficult place to operate for journalists at the moment, but it still remains probably the freest city in China. The media continues to operate here in a sort of unrestrained way, the international media anyway, but certainly we are seeing examples of, you know, tightening of the local media. I mean, more and more news organizations, Chinese organizations here in Hong Kong are now controlled by mainland concerns. That wasn't the case 10 years ago, but you know, more TV stations, more local newspapers are now in the hands of the mainland. So that is a development that will worry people, not just inside China, but also outside China. I mean, the one thing that, you know, big business wants here in Hong Kong is for there to be a free media. You know, corporations want to operate in a community, in a society where there is a free flow of information. If there's not a free flow of information, then they're going to pull out.